morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to yet another edition of the Pure Digital Passion Podcast with me, Moses Kemibaro. My guest today is Anthony Hutia, who's the head of mobile experience here at Samsung East Africa, where we are in their offices. And last week, we had the opportunity to attend the Galaxy Unpacked Nairobi experience. It was fantastic because we saw the next editions of the Fold and also the Flip phones. And more importantly, we got to see how Samsung is advancing the cause around AI and creating incredible mobile experiences for their customers across all their different devices. Thank you so much for joining us, Anthony.
Asante sana.
So, Anthony, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and what it is that you do here at Samsung?
Oh, okay. So I head the mobile division, what we call the mobile experience for Samsung Electronics East Africa. So I handle 13 countries within the East African region. So my role is actually now that takes care of all the mobile devices, the wearables, and accessories that come with it in the mobile division.
Great.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about, you said 13 countries, yeah?
Yes, yes.
So within that sort of regional focus, can you tell us a little bit more about, what's happening there, what you're seeing, what has been the trend between, let's say, last year and this year? What are sort of the developments that you're picking up across the mobile experience aspect of the business?
Okay. So starting with our business, Samsung, we had a bit of concentration mainly in Kenya and a few other countries, probably a bit of Tanzania and Uganda. But then we realized there's actually a bigger potential even in these neighboring countries that we have, like DRC, Rwanda, etc. So what we have seen coming out of those markets is that there's becoming more and more demand actually for smartphones. This being the operators are also pushing that because now their main revenues are coming out of data.
Correct.
Okay, so the shift has actually come from voice and maybe SMS, and now it's more on data. That's why they're even moving from 4G now getting even to 5G. So there's a lot of that data uptake that actually requires now to have affordable smartphones that you can be able to use, and of course the quality ones that can be able to last. So there's a lot of that expansion in all these countries. That's the reason for us also thinking about expanding into those different countries within the region.
Correct.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Galaxy Unpacked. I think you and I both attended the Nairobi experience. You shared quite a few insights about what's coming from Samsung. Yes. I think a big focus of that event was the introduction of Galaxy AI across the mobile devices and portfolio. Can you tell us a little bit more about that perspective and how Samsung sees it as being pivotal to how the business will evolve going forward?
Okay, good. Yes, it was quite an exciting time. We've gotten good feedback from people. I know you remember that beginning this year, so what we do is we have 2 launches in a year for what we call the smartphone category. So beginning of the year, we have the S series that we launch, and then we have now middle of the year now where we launch the foldable devices. Now, beginning this year, we introduced the Galaxy AI into our devices, and that's when we started with the S series. So for us, when we are launching now the foldables, we made sure now the foldables also are coming up with AI. So the theme for this year is, of course, to introduce AI into our devices. So now the AI has extended now to the foldable devices, and it's going to be now also a key player within the features and functionalities that we have in our foldable devices.
Okay, excellent. And I think also from the launch, one of the things we picked out was, I think there was talk about the way, I think there's over 200 million devices now that will also get the benefit of Galaxy AI. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that from a Samsung perspective.
So what Samsung is doing is now giving that benefit to at least the S category and the foldable. So the Galaxy, the AI feature is going to be extended now to the older models of that category, of the smartphone category. Later on might be going a bit to the high-end part of the devices. So the idea is now for the Samsung family to be able to enjoy this functionality of AI. We started, of course, with the S24, but now it's being extended to the other series of S, and also now the foldable devices that are going to get that functionality. So the total of that, we are looking at maybe a pool of around 200 million devices, and that's now the target market of the devices that we are looking at.
So what is very clear, I think, is that Samsung has gone all in on AI, and I think there's this interesting relationship that you have with Google.
Yes.
I think your devices were the first when I handled the S24 Ultra, when I had that earlier in the year, where you could do the circle to search and all these features. Can you talk a little bit about how that relationship works with Samsung and also in relation to Galaxy AI?
Okay. So Samsung, we believe so much in partnerships. Okay. There are things that we do well. There are things that others do well. So we believe in leveraging that strength from these companies. And of course, we know Google has been there for some time, and they have their strengths that they come with. So as part of the organization strategy is the partnerships that now are going to make sense and are able to propel us to a different level. So what we did is now, of course, Google can say it, we have the biggest Android, of course, users or consumers of that. This has now been extended to part of that. And as you're talking about circle to search, is one of the biggest features we actually seen in the Galaxy AI family, okay? So it's a partnership of having what they have as strength, and they can be able to be working on that as we're also working on what is our strengths in that. So the partnership so far has worked very well. We've seen good collaborations between the two organizations within markets. And this is not only, let's say, like in Korea or the US, even regionally, like now even the regional office. We have those continuing partnership and engagements on a day-to-day basis for the region-specific needs that we have within the different regions.
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about the devices that were launched last week, right? I know there's a whole range of things, but obviously the new Fold and the new Flip were there.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Fold. And I think for the Fold, because I had the chance to use the 5 last year, and I remember there's an incredible experience I had where I was in the middle of a presentation to some potential clients. My laptop died. I took out the Fold, I connected to the Zoom link, and me and my entire team presented using the Fold.
Wow.
And that moment was incredible because that's when the penny dropped. I realized, wow, why do I even carry a laptop? And then you tell me that there's even a better one now. So let's talk about the 6, because I know it's now got the AI capabilities on device. It's got all these, this new processor, the Snapdragon. Tell us about what is amazing about the new Fold.
So, I think now we're on the 6th generation of the Fold family. So it's been a journey of improving after getting feedback from our consumers. Now, the Fold 6 or the family, one of the features that we've done, if you noticed, if you look at the 4, the 5, and if I talk about the Fold to start with, is you can see the size is always going to become slimmer and slimmer and slimmer.
Yes.
So it's about now that experience that the consumer is going to have and how they're going to even use the devices. So first of all is we made the space become even more smaller, okay? And now even the device is much lighter than the 5, okay? So it's actually making sure that, okay, of course, the screen is 7.6 or above. So the screen it's how are you able to use a device from a normal size, so to say, and to have it even like a tablet kind of design with the most seamless way of using the device, okay? So the Fold 6, more of introducing that AI functionality and also making the processors much faster. As you mentioned, we are working with the Snapdragon, and it's because of the kind of activities that we expect out of the Fold, okay? Part of that is going to be also gaming. Gaming has become very big, and people are looking at how can I be able to even do gaming from my handheld devices. So this is part of why we've also partnered now again with Qualcomm on that Snapdragon part of it. It's making sure that now the ecosystems are becoming much, much more. So out of what we've had as a key selling functionalities for the Fold, now we've included AI, made the phone much slimmer, much lighter, and also being able to have enhancement or even the camera. And as you said, even the processors now much faster to be able to process all this data that is coming with the AI included.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, when I first held it last week during the event, it just feels lighter. It feels more compact. Even when it closes, it just feels like it's more seamless.
Exactly.
And I think what I love about the way the Fold is evolving is that it's almost a continuous iteration. It could get just better and better and better.
Yes.
More refined. It's squarer.
Yes,
which I
exactly.
quite like.
Exactly.
Is that what it is there? Is that
So
the fold?
yes. So this is the 5, this is the 6, and you can actually see the differences that are amazing in it, right? And even when I'm carrying, I feel like
The weight,
you can feel the weight is totally, you can feel the difference in that. So it's being able to actually being able to tap to that market, and there are people who've been using it, so they want to have better experiences going forward, and even new people who are coming in. And part of one of the key things we've seen is when we were launching the Fold, it was particularly being positioned maybe for the male category, but we are seeing even more ladies picking it up. So a part of the flip, we thought it was going to be more of the female, but we've seen now a market of female actually preferring the Fold over the flip. Okay, so it's some interesting statistics that we are getting, but it's because of now the kind of screen that they are using. As you said, the executive, we know the ladies, of course, they require to have more smaller things to be handled in their small bags and that kind of a thing. So being portable and portability, and you're being able to have a bigger screen that you can be able to work with going forward. So there's that kind of shift that is there, and we are learning and so on. Yes, AI, stop. I didn't call you yet.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting also is that when you use the Fold, as I recall, there's something quite transformational about your mobile experience, because it sort of fits that gap between a laptop and a tablet. And you sort of reach a point where there are many times you find yourself asking yourself, do I need to have the phone? Do I need to have the tablet? Do I need to have the computer? Maybe I just need this for everything. And I think you'll find that, yes, it was probably targeting business executives previously, but I think now people are just saying, look, this is everything at once, isn't it? Wouldn't you say that's what's happening?
So yes, we want all that you need from one device, and that's the kind of strategy that we want to do. And we have what we are calling like the Galaxy ecosystem, where you can use that smartphone and be able to connect even to the TV when you're doing the presentations. So it's part of making it easier for you, where you don't have to carry a lot of other gadgets or devices just to do what you can be able to do with one device. So, and you can see even the memories that we're getting, the storage is even becoming, you have a 512, we are even having 1 TB version of variant on that. So we're increasing even the sizes that you're getting from the device, just to be able to have you being able to store whatever data that you require. Of course, you have opportunities of also using the cloud to expand whatever capacity of storage you require, but we give you at least enough that you can be able, because you see, even when you're transitioning from one device to the other, most of the people you find, when the ones who have like the 128,
yes,
most of them are nearly full capacity.
Yeah.
So you find now 512 looks like most reasonable, and that's what even we are launching in our region as a 512 on the Fold, to give people that already enough capacity that you can be able to use. So it's all these things that you do, we are putting it on one device, and you're able to do it with that particular device. We are not saying that you're going to stop using the laptops. Probably we might be happier if you do, but it's giving you on the go, and you're able to do what you, because we talk about the mobile first kind of world, where you're going to be using this device across board. And even when you go like now, the whole ecosystem, as I was talking about, you have the watches for your health. You
Correct.
have the buds that you can be able to use for that. And the buds and the watches now are coming even with AI and all that. So this is being expanded across board in that full ecosystem. And you can be able also to use it as smart things even in your home.
Yes, correct.
So when you get to home, you can be able to use your mobile to turn on the fridge, to do what, and get all connected in your home appliances or home electronics devices that you need to do. So it's one gadget that can be able to, now you don't have to maybe, and you know, like the fathers, when you go home, you fight for the remote. Yeah. So everybody decides, they're the ones who own the remote. Like I know my youngest son who's 10, he always walks even with the remote to the kitchen. And I asked him, what is the remote going to do in the kitchen?
It's because control.
He wants that control. Then you can be able to extend that even to the device. So the mobile can actually be able to pick up and do that. So it's having this all into one device.
I want to come back to something I think that is very important to mention about these new devices. And that is within the new processor, there are these inherent AI capabilities on device. I think, if I'm not wrong, we have now the neural processing unit, which I don't think was there in the previous model. And this allows us to have on-device AI capabilities. It enhances the performance. Can you talk a little bit about that, including, for instance, I think the transcription, the translation? How do those things possibly benefit a user when they choose to buy any of these two devices?
See, the first thing is about security. And everything that people are asking about is when AI is incorporated, where is this thing about my information, security, and so on. So Samsung has done, part of the AI functionalities now are resident on the device, whereby, like, for example, the translate. You can be able to do the translation even without connection. Sometimes
on device.
On the device.
No internet connection required.
No internet connection. So what you do is we have packets of these languages that you download on your device. For example, you know I'm going to China. So you download the Chinese version of that on that device, depending on where you're going. So you could find like 2 or 3 different versions. You have English, British, or American. You can be able to also download that on the device. So that when you land, and you've seen many other countries, sometimes you land and you don't have connectivity. You have to take a taxi. You don't even know where to start. So this gives you that opportunity that you can be able to do that immediately from your device, even without connectivity, okay? Part of that is giving you instant kind of communication that you require on the go, and also part of the security and safety that is already available on that device. So at Samsung, we are trying to see how much can we be able to put on the device, and how much then do you need that process, I mean the data to be processed on the cloud. So part of security, then we give you those options that you can be able to do.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the Fold, which for some reason I think many have always seen as a lady's phone. Although as you're saying, you know, the flip. Yeah. Many often say it's for the ladies, but increasingly we also see men want it, because I remember last year when I was using the 5, I would just fold it and, you know, put the flip in my pocket, and you don't even forget it's there. So let's talk a bit about the new one and how that, because I noticed that the processor is the same, a lot of the capabilities cut across. But what are your thoughts around this new one compared to the version 5 last year?
The one of the things that we've done is making it what you can call it stronger. Okay. Unlike the Fold, the flip, for you to use it, you have to flip it.
Yes.
Okay. So the closing and opening, more times you experience on the flip than the Fold.
Correct.
So what happened is the hinges now, because of doing that, were a bit weak, and there was a bit of feedback that we were getting that this is not good, this is what, and the lifespan of it was a bit of a challenge. So what we've done is we've now made it even stronger to be able to withstand that flip, I mean opening and closing of the flip, and gives you that now long life of that particular device. The part also is now also on the face of it. So we are using materials that are actually now making it even easier for the touch and easier for you to be able to use on that flip. Yeah. So that has made it also. So the issue about making it also a bit slimmer, looking at how it looks, we've now come up with even cases that are a bit say neutral, and you can be able to choose whichever you want depending on. Because of the category that is also targeting. One of the things that we realize from research, and also having this voice of the customer, is you find the generation that we are targeting for this, there are these people who are coming and being more neutral. So even the colors that we are giving out now, they're not these creamy kind of colors. We give neutral colors.
A bit more subtle.
Yes, you would find it's a pink, but it's a neutral pink. It's not the screaming one. If it's yellow, it's this. So you find that is also targeting that. And as you said, we've discovered there's a category of men who actually want. It's about portability. I just have my jeans. I just want something that I can be able to slide it in. And they're looking at it and saying, this is what fits me. So we are saying, okay, we've seen, based on when the device were being developed, these are the thoughts that were behind it. But because of the usage and the kind of the market feedback, then you find the devices are cutting across. And then you're not able. So, and there are the people who you cannot dictate to them what they need to use it for. So we're giving them that liberty to be able to use the two devices, of which works for you within that. But the flip now, it's giving that kind of flexibility, and the kind of that generation, then they want this small gadget that can be able to use anytime, carry it anywhere. It's good and it works very well because of selfies.
Yes.
One of the things that we've enhanced on that is even the camera now.
Yes.
It actually, because of AI, it can detect, even when you're doing the selfies, sometimes you have to change, it can actually now zoom in or out depending on even the number of people you're doing on its own. Okay, so these are some of the enhancement of that camera that you're able to give, and gives you that better experience. It can be able to even take the background. So most of these things that they use mostly on the Flip, it's been enhanced with the camera features that are coming with it. Of course, with AI powering it up.
So let's talk a little bit about availability and also financing, because one of the things is, I remember even last year when I was roaming around with my Fold, and I told people what it cost. They said, that's a nice plot in Athriba. And you know, the truth of the matter is they're not cheap. They do come at a price, but they're fantastic devices. So maybe let's talk about the pricing that we're seeing in the market, but also let's talk about the availability, which I think will be in the market in the next 2 weeks or so. And then of course the financing options that are available to them.
Okay, so one thing that has happened now is, and especially like maybe when we start with Kenyan market, and maybe even the region. Previously, when we were launching the 5, the dollar, the rates were a bit higher and not favorable like they are now.
Correct.
So
oh yeah, there's a big gap.
There was a big gap. So in Kenya, we've seen nearly around even less than 100,000 drop on the device. That makes it even more affordable than what they paid for the 5. So that's one of the things that has been a bit favorable. So it's a bit lenient or softened to the pocket, and then you can be able to get a good rate. Number 2 is then we are also partnering with the device financing partners, and especially even the banks. Okay.
Yeah.
Local, like we are doing with ABSA, where you can use your credit card and pay within the installments. They give you 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. The next phase of people actually we are working with, or we are discussing currently, are most of these circles. And you find circles that are also have these high value customers, and you have also better payment terms, and they also come and they've come and approached and says, why don't we partner? So we are looking at them also being part of our channel, which we can be able to use to get these devices to their members at more affordable costs.
So coming back again to the actual pricing, and I know we're now in the pre-order period. Maybe let's talk about the actual pricing, and also within this pre-order period, what are the benefits of pre-ordering as opposed to buying them when they're actually in the market?
So what we've done is during the pre-order period, we've given a bit of more offers with that. So when you buy during the pre-order period, you get the phone and you get the case that comes with it, both for the Fold and the Flip. So we are giving you giving you the case as part of the offering that you get for any person who orders this in advance. We've seen now even our other partners, what they're doing is they're bundling it. And what I can encourage is for you to actually talk to those partners, and we are putting them on our socials and our medias. You can find a partner who's decided to give you an extra something on it, so on the pre-order period. So we've encouraged our partners. We're saying this is what Samsung is offering, but for them, they're also putting in something there. You can find somebody giving you some buds in there, others giving you watches, but at least from Samsung, we are making sure that it comes with a case for both the Flip and the Fold within this 2 weeks period by the end of this month.
So as these are coming to market, I think also from the launch, we had a little bit about the buds, we had a little bit about the new watches, including the Ultra. Maybe you can touch a little bit on that, because I believe they too will be coming to the local market as well,
yes.
Correct?
Yes. Now, we've seen that the accessories, the watches and the buds have not been something that we've been able to market very well. And now going from this H2 or second half of this year, that's part of our key strategies, and that's why we are saying it's going to be a full ecosystem. So we are looking at now having the different also categorization of, like say, watches, right? So we have what we are calling the Fit, which is the low entry for the watches.
Okay.
And we have now the Watch 6, Watch 7 coming in, and we have now what we launched, the Galaxy Ultra, Watch Ultra, okay? This is now on the high end. So it can be able to do much more with whatever you require. So what we've done is also on the wearables, now we've given you different options, okay? Where we have the entry, the mid and high, both for the watches, for the buds, So you get that different kind of category that can meet the different also users that we have. Initially, we had maybe a bit higher, but now we've had that there are people at a different category who would want to have maybe entry kind, go to mid and high. So we're also categorizing the accessories in that kind of way. And now what we're doing is we're bringing now genuine. We know a lot of people go and get
a gray market. Yeah?
Yes, some of them. So what we are saying is now we're bringing that also in country. Starting from our Samsung Experience stores, you're able now to be able to get that as a full bundle, and you can be able to take advantage of that whole ecosystem.
Fantastic. So as we're coming to the end, I'd like to ask maybe a few more questions.
Okay.
Maybe I'd like to hear more about the performance of the S24 series. Reason being, it was only earlier this year, I had the opportunity to use the Ultra, incredible phone, incredible camera. But as we think about that particular device, you know, because I know it's the big one, the one when you come to the market with it, what's been the performance of the S24 relative to the S23?
Okay, that has been really interesting. And I think the AI contributed to it, but we saw at least up to around 36% to around 40% incremental sales.
Wow.
With the S24 versus S23.
Fantastic.
Even from our region. Generally, on average, around maybe 25 to 30% globally around, but now in our region, it became even more of a bigger buzz within our market. So the AI, of course, really helped the enhancement of that, and this was a big push. We knew it had a big buzz, but the sales actually confirmed that people really got to get the S24 versus what they did with the S23. I think many were waiting for it.
Yeah,
and they did a bit of an upgrade, and we've seen guys who had even S23 upgrading to S22, upgrading to even S24. So that kind of a market, and even a bit from competition, because of the camera, we've seen them moving now and getting the S24 as even a second device because of what they do with their photos and all that.
And what about the other sort of, should I call them more mainstream, more 1-inch devices,
yes.
the A55, the A35, which I think look fantastic as well. Price point is obviously much more accessible. How are those devices performing in the market?
So, as I said before, and the idea is to actually now make sure that it's affordable smartphone category, and we have the entry, the mid, and the high before we get the flagships, which we're calling the S series and the folds. So we've seen an increase from last year in every category between 10 to 15%.
Wow.
Incremental in this. Okay. In our region, you might know that we also give maybe extra benefits.
Okay.
In some category, especially the high-end part, we give you the high-end and the flagship. We give you what we call the Samsung Care Plus, where you're able to get replaced your screen. If it breaks within 1 year, you can be able to get now that increased. We also have an extended 24 months warranty vis-a-vis what others are giving. We give you the 24 months warranty across board all our devices. And then now that part of the high end, us replacing screens, also gives that. Because, you know, for smartphone, it's the screen.
Yeah, you break that thing, it's going to cost you.
It costs you and you break it. But now, so you need to have that screen. So the bigger the screen, the more it can break.
It's painful. I know. I've
so
been there.
those are some of the value adds we see to add in our markets that are also giving us now that push or that incremental kind of sales from these devices.
And going forward, as we think about the next 6 months to 1 year, of course, in about a year's time, we'll be seeing probably the S25 coming in. We wait to see what that might be. Of course, we're going to see when the new Fold and the new Flip start selling in a couple of weeks' time, how they perform. But going forward, what else can we expect from the mobile experience division of Samsung East Africa?
Wow. Somebody was saying that we are launching so many devices. But I would like to say, yes, not so many. I mean, the lifespan of every category is nearly 1 year.
Yeah.
Actually 1 year.
Yeah.
So we launch every of that category, we launch it. We do the upgrade after 1 year, right? Okay, maybe we're making a bit of noise about for people to understand that. So the main part is first we did the S24, now we've done the Fold.
Yeah.
And we have these other categories that we're looking at. So the the part that we work with is, as I mentioned before, even with the operators,
Yes.
is being able to launch also the LTE and the 5G devices.
Of course, yes.
Okay, within those markets, which is also a big thing. And we are seeing operators now pushing us. We are launching. You have to do this, and there's a big process that we have to follow before we do those launches. So a bit of now that whole portfolio expansion, where you have all these devices, 4G, 5G, LTE coming.
Yeah.
And being able now to take that advantage. More of a partnership with even the operators, something that we are looking at doing across the region. Many operators are looking at doing these markets like Sudan, where we are looking at entry. I know they still are part of the war, but we are looking at how from even Port Sudan, how we can be able to continue operating.
Wow.
We're expanding now, as I said, within the 13 countries. Now we're giving even more focus where we are getting local people there. So we get a Samsung local person who can be able to, instead of us just running the operations from here, we are getting local people now that we are actually employing in those countries on the ground to give us real-time feedback, engaging with the customers on real-time basis, and being able to give us now the insights and what they're getting out of the market. So there's that focus that we are having of that regional expansion within East Africa.
Great. So I have some quick fire questions for you, Anthony.
Okay.
And the quick fire questions are basically a little bit related to what we've discussed and maybe not. And I think I want to start off with my favorite one, which is, which Premier League team do you support?
I used to support Man U. I don't know if I still do. But yes, I don't know. Man U is becoming more like Arsenal. The way they used to give them headaches.
I'm an Arsenal fan, so you can imagine we are enjoying Man United's current pains.
Things have changed.
Although, as you know, Snapdragon is now sponsoring them, so maybe you might come back because of that. You might come back because of that. Flip or fold, and why?
For me, it's more fold.
Fold, huh?
For me, it's more fold than the flip because of what I do. I mean, that's what I'm using even now. It's because now the kind of data that I'm processing. I love the split screen where I can have part on this one screen, on the other one I can be able to do it. When I'm walking, I'll be able to fold it and be able to use the slimmer screen and so on. And because I'm on the go and I have to do all this kind of stuff that I need to do, so fold works for me better than the flip would do.
Can I tell you something very interesting? When I was using the Fold 5 last year, the number of conversations that started when I was traveling, when I'd be somewhere in a restaurant, people I don't even know would just come to talk to me because they'll ask me, is that the new 5? What does it do? How does it work? And I tell you that actually, I think I sold a few in that process.
Wow.
Because
nice.
people didn't, when they saw what I was able to show them. But more importantly, I think for me, it became almost a bit of a flex. So I just take it out and just open it and immediately you have higher social status.
Yes.
So that was quite cool and whatever. Okay. What are your hobbies outside work?
Wow. I do a lot of boys and men mentorship. Okay. That is a passion I love. Because I want men to upgrade from where we are. Okay. We've done many bad things. We need to start being responsible and being able to. And the only way you can do that is getting somebody else or another man having that conversation with you, what you call man to man, and being able to walk that journey with the other fellow men. So I do part of that. The second part is I love doing a lot of nyama choma. That one now I get to my element. After getting a lot of running around here, I go back and rest in the farm on your way to Namanga.
Shags, eh?
So it's actually not shags. It's where
just
I have a farm where I go and listen to the birds as I do a bit of nyama choma.
Oh, nice.
And nicely and relax with a glass of something, and then just enjoy that whole part. And then men also come there, and I get that opportunity at least to have that conversation with men when we are doing that nyama choma business. Fantastic. And all that. Yes.
I think I need to hang out with you more.
You need to come. You're invited. You need to come.
And my last quick fire question is, the next 5 years, knowing what you know about Samsung, knowing what you know about mobile, what do you think is coming? What should we expect?
Wow. Hey. I mean, the opportunities are limitless. I mean, just by the conversations that you get to hear and by seeing what AI can do. I mean, even when we have those, we usually call them brainstorm moments and meetings, the ideas that are coming out are unimaginable. I don't even know where we will be, okay? I don't know where we'll be, because the thing is now, first of all, the integration of the full ecosystems that are coming in. That will become something else. You know, those stories we used to hear that the fridge is sending you SMSs that your milk is finished. Those are now realities. They're more reality than just talk. Getting to find out when you walk into the room, you can be able to see and measure what your AC, you can switch off AC because you've left and you left your AC on. You can be able to switch it off when you're in the office. Those are some of the things that are coming. So the whole Samsung ecosystem is going to be now more synced, and being able to have that family, you would call ecosystem, that is going to move forward. So you're going to have those AI also extended into the other products of Samsung, and being able now to have the whole family of Samsung having those benefits coming up.
Well, Anthony, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm delighted with everything you've shared.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to having a go at the new 6 devices.
Yes.
And I'm sure, like, you know, the Fold again will give me flex mode when I'm meeting people.
Yes.
But more importantly, I think at the end of the day is that we really admire the way that Samsung is really sort of pushing the boundaries, innovating, creating products and categories that didn't even exist before. But more importantly, I think focusing on the customer,
yes,
and really being customer-centric in terms of meeting them where they are, you know. And thank you so much for sharing everything you have with us.
That's a passion. That's a passion. That's why it's mobile experience. So people have to experience.
Exactly.
And when you experience, you know, it's not, as we call it in Kenya, it's not stories ajaba. It's actually something. It's the real thing that is happening.
Yeah.
We are proud, and we are happy to get this feedback.
Yeah.
When the consumers tell us this is where you've gone wrong here, please improve. We listen to the consumer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Asante sana. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. And all the best going forward with the launch.
Asante.
All right.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it with Anthony Hutia, who shared with us incredible things about Samsung in this region, but also more importantly, the new devices. Make sure you get yours if you can. By the end of this month, they'll be in the market here in Kenya and also in the region. Also remember there's financing options and also value adds if you pre-order. But most importantly, as we know, Samsung create incredible mobile experiences through all their devices and the incredible ecosystem. Once again, thank you for joining us on the Pure Digital Passion Podcast with me, Moses Kemibaro. We'll catch you in the next one.